Hey y'all, welcome and welcome back to another Dolls I Don't Want video. If you haven't seen these videos that I do before, it's a series on my channel where I look at dolls that have either come out recently or are going to be coming out soon, and I talk about all the ones that I don't want. Given that this is like a whole doll channel, I do tend to make reviews on the dolls that I do like because obviously I end up buying them, but all the ones that I don't plan on buying, I like to do this video for because I generally have opinions about everything, so this is a good place to get my opinions out on dolls that I have no intent to purchase, and like it's also kind of fun to just talk about why I don't plan on buying these dolls. So as always, this is just my opinion. If I talk about dolls in this video that you really love, it's not anything personal, we just have different thoughts on different dolls, and if you guys find yourself enjoying the video, if you could give it a like, that's very helpful to me. And then if you're new here and you like what you see, maybe subscribe so you can see more. But with that out of the way, let's go ahead and start talking about these dolls. Okay, the first brand that I want to talk about is Barbie, and I want to talk about this Barbie style set that came out recently, which is very unusual. I don't think that I've ever talked about a Barbie style doll in one of these Dolls I Don't Want videos. If I have, it's been a very long time, because I generally only cover like doll lines that I would consider buying from in these videos, and then I talk about the ones that I wouldn't buy. If I talked about all the doll lines that I'm not going to buy, this would be a very, very long video. But I wanted to talk about this Barbie style set that comes with a Ken and a Barbie doll, because I actually really, really like it. I think this is a very solid set and it's really cool. So the reason that it's on this list is because I didn't buy it, because it's still really expensive. If you know anything about the Barbie style sets, personally I think that they're a little bit overpriced, and I think that this one was like $150, which, to be fair, you do get two dolls, so like the price is a little bit better. Still very high for me, but I kind of just wanted to acknowledge that I think this was a very well designed set. So even though I didn't buy it for budget reasons, if I had unlimited funds, I would have bought this set, and that's the first time I can say that about a Barbie style release. So I just thought that was like worth noting on like a slightly more positive note for this video. And then the other Barbies that I wanted to talk about are the Barbie Extra Fly, and this is also kind of weirdly a positive. I'm like a little bit afraid to talk about it because I feel like I might jinx something, but I kind of feel like Barbie is doing better lately, and I'm so scared to say that because I'm really excited about the prospect of Barbie making releases that I enjoy more, but it's like, I don't want to jinx it. But the Barbie Extra Fly dolls, I don't think that I'm going to buy any of them because the designs don't necessarily speak to me, or like usually on each doll there's one or two things that I just don't like as much. But objectively looking at them, I do think that they're very well designed dolls. So like even though I personally don't plan on buying these, I do think that they're really solid. Like I don't think that they are ugly dolls, and that's very exciting to me, just because I feel like a lot of Barbie releases are extremely unexciting or are out and out ugly releases. And a lot of the Barbie releases lately just have not been terrible. I haven't bought any, but like I look at them and it's like, there's some promise there, and I feel that way about these Extra Fly dolls. We have an extra Ken, which is really exciting. I hope that they do more Kens in this line in the future, because like, I would like at least one, you know? But yeah, I think the designs are really cool for these, and I feel like this is heading in a really good direction. So I'm not buying them because like, I don't personally super connect with any of these dolls, but overall Barbie is like kind of becoming a vibe again, and I'm really nervous and also really excited for that. Okay, then we have like a whole bunch of kind of collector level releases that I wanted to talk about. This has been a little bit now. I'm kind of behind making one of these videos, but the Bratz Tweevils did release, and I have a lot of questions. I get that if you are the target audience, you probably are very excited about these. I know a lot of people are very excited about these. I just don't understand, because like within the old Bratz media, I don't remember watching a lot of it, and it has been a very long time since I consumed any of it, but like from what I can recall, the Tweevils were, if not outright villains, they were definitely not the like good guys, you know? They were kind of the antithesis to the Bratz, and so they were meant to be characters who were like trying too hard and less attractive and less fashionable. So inherently making dolls of characters like that is confusing to me, I guess. I don't really know. I know that they're for collectors. I know that they're for people who like the Bratz media and like, therefore, if not the Tweevils themselves, they like the reference of the Tweevils. I just don't get it because I don't think that they're very pretty dolls. I also think that for the $50 price point, I get that you get two of them, but frankly they look kind of cheap to me. I don't know. I get that this release was not designed with me in mind, so maybe I don't have any room to complain, but that's just kind of my opinion on it, especially with this one. I know I gave the disclaimer, but like if you love the Tweebles, that's great. More power to you. I just don't get it. Okay, then we have the Collector Maleficent doll from Mattel. I did a whole video about my opinions on this one, but the short version, if you didn't see that or if you don't want to go see that, is that I really love the outfits. I think that the face mold and like the paint that goes along with it, something there is just a little bit off. I can't pinpoint exactly what it is, but something is just not quite right to me. And most of all, the price is not right to me. It's like $150. I think that's what she released for. And that's out of my price range for a doll that I'm not 100% in love with. There's also like a lot of plastic on her. So for me, mostly this was the price. It's also kind of the face mold. And like I said, I had the whole video. So if you wanted to like see my in-depth thoughts, you can go check that out. But not buying the Disney Maleficent doll. And then we start getting into the Monster High collector dolls. So we have two to talk about for this video. This really shows me how long it's been since I made a Dolls I Don't Want video, because I feel like Rochelle's release was a while ago. But we have to talk about the Fang Vote Rochelle. Again, I did a whole video on her, a very impassioned video. I was kind of iffy based on the design that came out after the Fang Vote about whether I wanted this doll. And after seeing the stock photos of the prototype, I decided not to get her. I do think she was a little bit expensive. I think that the design didn't translate as well from like the 2D art to the doll. I think the colors were kind of off. And like that could change because these are dolls that are being made to order. So like the actual dolls that get released might be better, but I wasn't willing to take a chance on it. So I did not get Rochelle. And then I also did not get Chucky and Tiffany, who yet again, I made a whole video for because their release was an absolute disaster. So that video is much more about the release itself if you want to check that video out. But as for the designs, those of you who are longtime viewers probably know that I'm not a horror fan. I just am kind of a baby and I can't handle it. It very much frightens me. So I've never seen any of the like Chucky media, so I'm not really connected to these dolls. I think that out of the two, Chucky looks better to me, but I don't know. Part of it is, again, just that I don't get the media that it's referencing, so obviously it's not going to be as good to me. I just think that some of the design choices were kind of cheap. So yeah, I skipped out on these. Then we actually have a new doll line to talk about, which is always exciting when that happens. Obviously, in the course of this video being a Dolls I Don't Want video, it's like less exciting, but the VIP girls are dolls that are going to be coming out soon, and they're kind of all included on this list tentatively. There are definitely some that I don't like as much. The one that is like mostly pink themed is just not really my style. There are some that I think look really cool. The image that I have up here for you guys, the one in the middle I think is my favorite so far. But like there are good things about some other ones too. So these are on the list because I definitely won't be buying all of them, depending on what they look like when we can see more detailed stock photos of each individual doll, and also when I can like see them in person. I might buy one to give it a try. I've seen some people say that they really don't like the faces on these. I don't think they're that bad. Like, they're definitely stylized, but they're pretty cute to me. So, as a line, I won't be buying the whole line, which is why I feel like okay including them on this list, but I think I'll probably buy at least one just to give it a try. I don't know, it's always fun when new doll lines come out, because it's something different and something new, and even if it doesn't turn out to be something that I dearly love, it's fun to try new things. So most of these are going to end up being dolls that I don't want, but I think I'll at least give one a try. And the rest of the video is going to be dedicated to the live-action Little Mermaid dolls. There are so many different doll releases that are coming out for this movie, so there are definitely a lot to talk about, and I know I'm a little behind on this, like a lot of other people have already talked about their feelings on these dolls, but I'm here now, which is the important part. So, starting off with a Mattel Little Mermaid doll. This is Ariel in like her blue dress. I'm not planning on getting her because there's a couple Ariels that I do have my eye on. I'm thinking about getting the deluxe Ariel at some point, or getting just the big pack of all of the fashion doll size sisters, and obviously Ariel is included in that. So a lot of the Ariel dolls that I'm going to be talking about are not on this list because I think that they're bad, but more so because I really only want to have like one or two Ariel dolls. So I have to eliminate some. So I actually really do like this blue dress. I think that it's quite pretty, and I do love the Mattel face sculpt that they did for Hallie as the Little Mermaid. looks amazing. So I don't have any problems with this doll. There are just other Ariel dolls that I'm kind of prioritizing more. Because, like, I'm a mermaid person. I absolutely have to have Ariel as a mermaid. So the ones of her in, like, human clothing are automatically going to be ones that I'm less interested in. So it's not for me, but I do think this is a solid doll. Same thing can be said about the Ariel doll with the pink dress. I definitely like the blue better. I think that the shape of the blue is just more interesting for me personally. But again, I don't think that there's anything wrong with the pink one. I just have my priorities. Then we have, I want to say this is the, like, singing Ariel doll from Mattel. She's okay. Definitely out of the Ariel dolls that have the mermaid tail, she's one of my least favorites. Obviously she sings, so, like, that's a gimmick for people who are interested in that. And so more of the budget is going to go towards making her sing. But design-wise, she's okay. She's just definitely not my favorite. Then, okay, this is such an interesting pack to me, and I'm assuming that the movie will, like, make this make more sense. But we have a 3-pack of Ariel and then 2 of her sisters. So they have the really, really big pack of all 7 sisters. That's the one that I'm considering buying. And then they have this 3-pack. And I don't know how they chose which sisters ended up in this pack. It's kind of confusing to me. Again, maybe the movie will actually make that make more sense. But I'm not going to get this pack because, like I said, I am thinking about the big one. And, like, if I'm going to get Ariel and her sisters, I want all of the sisters, not just 2 of the sisters. I think the designs are exactly the same. So I don't really have anything against the designs. I just would rather have a huge pack than, like, a medium-sized pack. Okay, this one I actually don't like. This is the Ursula doll, and I think that doll is a very liberal term. My main problem with this is just, it's basically just an action figure with rooted hair. Like, I think that this Ursula doll is kind of stretching the limits of what a doll is to me. I get that it's kind of a fluid definition, like it's kind of hard to draw the line between figurines or action figures and dolls. But for me, this is definitely towing that line. I do like the way that the hair is done. I think the face sculpt is really, really cool. I do appreciate that they didn't make Ursula super skinny, because there have been some Ursula dolls that are, like, super tiny and it just doesn't make sense to me. But she's literally 90% plastic. She has some articulation, which is cool to see. I'm glad that she's not just, like, stiff, but I don't know. I would prefer a little bit more fabric or a little bit of something other than plastic for Ursula, so that's more of a personal preference, but this one I definitely am not a big fan of. Next up is Vanessa, and I'm thinking that this doll might grow on me after I see the movie, because as of right now, I just don't really have any, like, connection to her. I don't really feel anything about this doll. I think that the dress has a cool design to it, so I think that I might be more open to buying this doll in the future. But as of right now, pre-movie release, I'm just not really feeling it. She's fine, but, like, I have other things that I need to prioritize for my budget, so I probably won't be getting her. Could change in the future, though. Okay, then we have another version of Ariel that has her pink dress, but this one also has a removable mermaid tail and mermaid top. I do think that this one is actually super, super cute, and if I were to decide to get a Ariel with a dress, it would probably be this one, just because I love when mermaid dolls have, like, human clothing options and then also mermaid clothing options with, like, the tail. I love that. I love fabric removable tails. So this one I actually think is super, super cute, and is another one that I'm slightly more likely to change my mind about. But again, for now, I have other Ariel dolls that I'm thinking about more. So she's kind of on the back burner. Not 100% a no. I could change my mind, but for now, we're going to say no. Okay, then there is King Triton. I believe he only comes in a pack with, I think, Ariel and Ursula. I don't know, Eric might be included in that. I'm not 100% sure, but I think he only comes in a pack with other dolls. And same problem as Ursula, pretty much. It's just that it's a lot of plastic. And I do get it to some extent. Like, I understand that the armor probably translates very well in plastic. I just really prefer my dolls to feel slightly more like dolls than they do like action figures. Like, even if his armor was all plastic but it was removable, I would be more inclined to like this doll. But as far as I know, it's not. Maybe, like, the shoulder pads are. I don't know for sure. But I don't know. I think it's a good design. I just think that the materials used and like the execution aren't up my alley. So I can understand why other people like this, but I'm not going to get him. Okay, then we have a pack with Ariel and Eric. And I think this is, this is a slightly different version of Ariel's blue dress. I do think it's really, really pretty actually. I like the like slight inclusion of pink in the kind of waist area. I like the cut of it and everything. So I think Ariel's looking real good. Ken.
Ken?
I cannot believe the audacity to give us these like nasty molded on plastic pants. It's so bad. Like he has a fabric shirt and then just these leg pants. It's, oh gosh, that was really disappointing. So I won't be getting the pack because of that. It just looks really bad. I'm just being honest. Like at least the Ursula, like the tentacles and stuff molded in the plastic looks a little bit better in my opinion. And like Triton, there are other mermaid dolls that have molded on fishtails, so like King Triton looks at least a little bit better, but the molded on leg pants is something that I simply cannot abide by, so I will not be getting this pack. We are still going. There are so many dolls for this release. This one is a transforming Ariel doll where she has like the dress and the fishtail, but it's kind of all one piece that can transform from one to the other. It's just not really made with me in mind. I've never been a huge fan of these transforming gimmicks. Sometimes they're done well, sometimes they're not. I couldn't really say with this doll. I'm very picky when it comes to like transforming type of dolls, and usually they don't quite live up to what I have in my head, so I won't be getting her. Then there is the like basic Ariel doll. She is all molded plastic. I do love the tail on this one. I think the tail is so beautiful. Obviously the face and everything is still the same for all the Mattel dolls, so like the face is great. Again, this is one that like maybe I would reconsider if I end up not buying like the huge big pack. Maybe I would buy this one instead because I think the tail is so pretty, but I would prefer to have like the removable top at least that's in the big pack. I don't know, not 100%. There are a lot of these Little Mermaid ones that I'm like kind of like trying to feel out because I want at least one doll of Ariel. But maybe I want more. Maybe I want the big pack with the sisters. I'm not 100% sure yet. So she's tentatively on this list, but she's another one that I could see myself changing my mind about in the future. Okay, then we have a mini figurine pack of a bunch of different characters. I think this is really cool, actually. I did a review of the little mini doll set of Ariel and all of her sisters. So I do have like two of these. I have the Mermaid Ariel and then I have Tamika, her sister, that are included in this pack. There's nothing wrong with this pack. I just kind of already have the sister set, and I think that that has satisfied my need for the mini dolls. I will say that I think that Triton and Ursula look 10 times better as mini dolls than they do as like full fashion size dolls, just because they are obviously all plastic here, like even the hair is all plastic, but something about the scale makes me kind of more forgiving about the fact that it's a lot of plastic. It just seems to fit better. I also think the sculpt for Ursula's tentacles are really nice here. So nothing wrong with this set. I just already have some mini dolls and I feel like I'm good with what I've got, but I do think this is really well designed. Kind of along the same lines, there is a mini doll playset that comes with Ariel and then Flounder and Sebastian and like a whole little like grotto playset. Again, I think this is really cool, but I'm not really a playset person. I don't have the space for playsets, so even if I was super interested in them, I wouldn't be able to buy all the ones that I might want. This is totally fine. It's not made for me. Like, I'm not the target audience, but again, I don't think that there's anything wrong with it. Okay, finally moving away from the Mattel Disney dolls. We've only got two more to talk about, so we're almost done here. We have the Disney store, like the Playline version of Ariel, and I don't know. I don't think that the face is as bad as some other live action dolls that we've seen in the past. If you know anything about the Disney live action dolls, you know that not all of them have been good. But I don't think it's as good as the Mattel sculpt. I just think the Mattel head sculpt is definitely preferable. So like, it's not awful. And if it existed in a vacuum, I think that I would think that this doll is quite pretty. But because I've seen the Mattel head sculpt, I obviously prefer that one. So, you know, she's fine. She's great. If you like her, I'm happy for you, but just not one that I would buy. And then the last one to talk about is also a Disney Store doll, but this is the limited edition live action Ariel doll. She is stunning. Like, I will say, She's so pretty. I love the fabric that they chose for her tail fins. Those are gorgeous. Her face, I think on the bigger scale, looks a lot nicer. The Disney Store sculpt, like on the bigger scale, just fits a little bit better than it does on these smaller dolls. The top I think is cute. The body of her tail is like this amazing sequin fabric, and the sequins reflect the light and look like fish scales. It is so, so pretty. There are two things that stop me from buying this doll. One is the price. She's a Disney limited edition collector doll, so she's by nature kind of expensive. I think she was like $120. I want to say that's how much she was. And that's not in my budget right now. I have other dolls that are going to be coming up that I want more, and I recently had to take my poor cat to the vet. She's doing okay so far, but like we're kind of monitoring her because she has a little kitty cat asthma. So, you know, my cat's gonna come first. I would rather have an extra $120 in my bank account in case she does need to go back to the vet. So yeah, the limited edition price is just a little high for me right now. And then the other thing is that even if I had the money to get her, I think I would have ended up skipping anyway, because she has like the tail and then she has the body underneath. So like she has full legs. There's a weird stripe of paint on her stomach that's supposed to make it look like the tail is blending better into her body. And it just doesn't, at least to me. I think that it looks really bad. I feel like the fins on Little Mermaid dolls, the kind of like hip fins, pretty naturally make a point where the tail and the human skin divide, and it like looks pretty natural. This inclusion of the little stripe, you can very clearly see where the sequin tail ends and the stripe begins. And it's just this one color. It's just this weird stripe. I think it looks really bad. I genuinely think that one stripe ruined this whole doll. I know that's a strong feeling to have, but I really don't like that. So even if I did have the money, I probably would not have bought her, because if I did, I would have had to paint over that because I would not have been able to stand it. So other than that, a very beautiful doll, but not one that I bought. So that is going to be it for today's edition of Dolls That I Don't Want. I would love to hear in the comments what your thoughts are on these dolls, or if there's other dolls that have come out or are about to come out that you're not planning on buying. And yeah, it would just be kind of fun to chit chat with you guys. But I do hope you enjoyed the video. I hope you have a lovely rest of your day, or your night, whatever it might be, and I will catch you in the next one. Bye guys!